everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the post-game show. 24 hours later, we usually do it right after the game, but I was at a Christmas party. It was running late. Trust me, Evan Posner was nailing and biting at the bit. He wanted it to happen. He was even trying to bribe us into doing it, but we said we have to hold off. First off, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, whether you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Steve is doing his best Evan Posner impersonation, trolling about the tardiness, but we had just butt in. We had just came in and talked a little bit. A ghost might get you. Yes, we have beer and sports still going on. If you were tuning in at that, they're talking to they're having some ghost story. It's a really cool part, but we are talking Dolphins. I do want to talk about this very quick, guys, before we roll. For the top of the show, we're going to get into obviously the Dolphins lost. Dolphins lost 17-23 to the Chargers, and now 8-5 on the season. But, guys, if you're a Dolphins fan, if you're a sports fan, you like talking ghost stories or wrestling or anything of that, you have to like and subscribe to this channel, the Fins Talk Sports Network. We're growing. Podcast Network, we're growing. We're having fun. We're not having fun today. We're a little down, but we're going to make it as best we can to be happy. You see that smile on Justin's face? We love that. We want it. Look at Evan's face when he smiles. How nice that is. Kumbaya fucking yeah. Oh, sorry. It's Kumbaya. Sorry. All right, but that's all right. But look, if you like and subscribe and we get past 500 subscribers, you have a chance at a jersey giveaway. Either Jalen Waddle, who is missing in action apparently, but still we know he's a great player, and Javon Holland. So you have a chance at two awesome jerseys of your choice between these two. So like and subscribe. Once we get over 500, you're in. Okay. And of course, if you just want, maybe you want a Tyreek Hill jersey. Maybe you want a Tua jersey. Maybe not so much. Or any other sports or baseball or whatever jersey. I love torturing the guys. Listen, go to JPF Scout on. Say, hey, man, do you have like an Orlando Magic or Miami Heat, something jersey in this type of color or some kind of baseball? Even we're talking Dolphins here, but I'm talking any type of sports memorabilia when it comes to jersey. You got to go to our guy JPF Scout, man, and he's going to get you a great price, all that whatnot. He'll hook you up. Contact him. He's the dude. So let me make sure I fix this here. We are live, folks, so not everything is perfect. I'm producing alone. It's all good. Post-game show. All right. Post-game, even though usually it's right after, we go ahead and we're running a little late, but that's fine. Let's talk about it. The Miami Dolphins, they lost last week to the San Francisco 49ers. We figured, that was the number one defense versus the 10 offense. We go, okay, that could happen against number one defense. It was a reality check. It was a wake-up call. Evans last week, he was surprisingly critical of Tua and the offense and the Dolphins. He even said if we lost this week, we could be seeing a 3-game losing streak against Buffalo. We're going to touch on that if that's still the case. Justin, the same way I thought it was by Miami win because the Chargers offensively we knew what they could do. We knew what Herbert could do, etc. We knew that was going to be a heavyweight matchup. The defense, though, was 26 total defense, but they had figured out the Miami offense. We're going to talk about that. So before we get into, I know Ralph is pissed, Evan is pissed, Justin is pissed, Steve is pissed, Rob, I'm sure, is pissed because he said if Miami lost against the Chargers, they're pretenders. We're going to touch on that, too. So before doing that, let's get into some good news, guys. Let's just do a little bit of good news just to see. I know we're ready to bite at it, but despite losing last night, it would have been better if they won, obviously. The chances would have been 90%. But despite losing last night, the Dolphins, because the Jets lost to Buffalo, will still have a 78% chance to make the playoffs. Still 78%. Miami's currently sitting at the 6th seed right now. So that's the good news. It's not 68. It's not 58. Not 51, it's 78. That's good freaking odds. But what does Miami have to do in order to secure a playoff spot, Justin?
They're going to need to win at least 11 games, I think.
All right. I know, 10-7 ain't looking so bad.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead, Justin, man. Just questions. We'll get into it, but first let's get your reaction to yesterday's game, man. What you saw, what your feelings are. I know you got plenty of them. What happened yesterday?
Oh man, you know what? They just once again, didn't come prepared to play the game of football. I thought maybe we were just seeing a mirage or an aberration out there for the first quarter or two, and then second quarter rolled around and just kept getting worse and worse. I hate to say it, but about halfway through the game, I'm like, man, is this the same old Dolphins team we had last year? What the hell's going on out there right now? Then all of a sudden, it just kept getting worse, man. Progressively, the line of scrimmage was getting worse. They were resetting the line of scrimmage on us on offense. And then they just weren't making plays. Tua was all over the place, man. It looked like the 49ers game all over again, a little rusty, a little behind. The reads weren't coming out crisp. The reads weren't coming out clean. A lot of problems, and I've seen is just a very inconsistent football team from the offensive standpoint. They didn't want to – it seems to me like they just don't want to do what they need to do to win the game. Like you were trying to run to the way your team is designed to, play, but you needed to take the attack to the other team. And you didn't do that. You just wanted to throw it around the football field. It doesn't hurt to run the football. And then when you were having success running the football, you went away from it. I understand that Jeff Wilson got hurt, but you have two other running backs on your roster that were active for that game. Hell, I don't even care. You could have put a wide receiver back there and handed off the ball to him a couple times, and I wouldn't have mind. How about an end around or a jet sweep? I've yet to see you use one of those in the last couple weeks. I just seen a lot of problems out there. That's my take from it.
You're not wrong. I know a lot of people feel I think Evan has fallen asleep. That's okay. We'll wait for him to wake up.
Steve, I'm here.
Steve texted me this morning and he told me, "Hey, Bobby, I know you got post game tonight." Paraphrasing a little bit. Try not to get your blood pressure high. Try to breathe. That's why I started the show with some good news. Kumbaya. We roll it on. So yes, Steve, I will breathe. I will try to remember USA. USA. All right. Evan.
Yeah.
Waiting since last night because you try to be positive. You say you're the most positive person on the network. I call bull. That's just me. But I know it's a little too close to bandwagon. So I know that's why you wanted yesterday to go off. But I said let's give it 24 hours. You have 24 hours. Where are you right now on this loss with Miami?
On this loss, the players have to play. But right now, the way this game went yesterday, sitting there watching it without moving, and then I started texting you and Justin, this is 100% on the coaching staff.
Absolutely.
This is a 100% fail on the coaching staff. And I'll get into the players throughout the show, but Mike McDaniel did something that his predecessor did all of last season. And what he did was he was stubborn and he never adjusted to anything. When you start a game off where you're facing a team that's awful against the run and you try 3 consecutive 15-yard passes down the field, I could not believe my eyes. At least if you had to, borrow Brian Flores' playbook. Eric Stubbsville was there last year. And try some screens. 2-3-yard dink and dunks. Try something. But to do what you were doing, and it wasn't working. The team, and the one thing that McDaniel said to me that really pissed me off is he sort of threw the players under the bus yesterday. When he said he re-looked at the tape and he said, well, they were sort of going against their assignments at one point. They weren't actually following their assignments. And I go to myself, well, what did you expect? You were telling them to do the same thing that wasn't working. And what I realized is that what my biggest fear right now is similar to how Brian Flores was a very defensive-minded coach. Mike McDaniel is so offensive-minded and so stubborn with his scheme that it's 13 games in and he's not adjusting to the game. And the fact of the matter is that in the end, if you want your team to have a 60-minute effort, that falls on your head coach. And your head coach right now and the one thing I will give Chris Greer a little bit of a shot on is the fact that you've hired a defensive-minded coach and an offensive-minded coach, and not somebody who's a coach who can manage both sides of the ball. And that is my biggest frustration with this. There's an interesting stat. If you do the math of time of possession in the last two games, what angers me more right now is the Dolphins are 8-5, but the offense has really only played 13 football games. However, the defense has played 14 football games.
Yep.
Because the time of possession average for this season, if you do the math, we are under 4 or 5 minutes a game. If you multiply that by the number of games we've played, they've played a full additional game. And when your offense is supposed to win you football games, because this is an offensive-focused team, you can't leave your defense out to dry. And one thing I think we're all going to agree on, and which is my number one frustration the entire game watching it last night, and shame on McDaniel for this, is that all 5 losses are on the offense. All 8 wins are on the offense, and all 5 losses are on the offense. The losses to San Diego, the Chargers, the losses to the 49ers, the loss to the Jets, the loss to the Vikings, and the loss to, who's the other loss? The Bengals. Those were all offensive blunders. Tua went out for 3 games. You couldn't adjust with Teddy Bridgewater, and you couldn't adjust with Teddy Bridgewater, or you couldn't adjust with Skylar Thompson. You didn't build around that. And I've talked about that during that he wasn't prepared. In these last 2 games, last game he had the right scheme, but he didn't get away from Tua, and he wanted Tua to win him the football game. And he didn't realize that you have to try different things with Tua, because whatever you were doing, no matter how great the scheme was last week, you didn't adjust to it. In this game, you knew that it wasn't working, and you never adjust. You had a half. Like the Baltimore game. The Baltimore game, something you did in the fourth quarter, you said something to them, and they came out bangers. We're 13 games in, and you've yet to play a full football game with adjustments. And this is the 10th consecutive quarter, because if you look at the second half of the Houston game, they weren't so hot there. He's played 10. This is 10 consecutive quarters where the Miami Dolphins have been outplayed from quarter to quarter, and that is my number one concern. And that no matter how good the players are, a coach needs to win you football games also, and he has to put you in a position to succeed, and he's failing this football team.
Evan just pointed out a big point right there, that this all started with that second half in the Texans game. This all started right there. You got complacent, you started playing down to your opponent, and then it carried into the next week. And I'll be honest with you, this is the kind of stuff that'll lose you a lot of football games when you do it. I agree with everything Evan just said, 1,000%. And the reason why is because he's right. I mean, I don't understand how you're going to leave your defense to hang them out to dry like that. If those numbers he gave are correct, which I know they are because he's thorough about his research, there's no way in hell you can be doing that to your team. You're leaving them out. You're hanging them out to dry. You're getting everybody tired. And then the next thing, Chubb ain't finishing plays. I wouldn't be finishing the damn play either, dude. I'm tired. I'll be honest with you. You got to run the football. It's like the dude is so like, what's the word I'm looking for here? He's cocky. He's cocky. This isn't the Kansas City Chiefs. You're not Andy Reid, all right? You're Mike McDaniels. You're supposed to be this run game coordinator. Where are these badass run plays I've seen you designing in San Francisco? Where are they? Because I need to see them now. I'm sick of this shit. Like, you got to run the damn football even if you're not getting the yardage you need off it. You got to keep defenses honest, or they're just going to pin back and attack you every which way. Now, you think it's a copycat league? Yeah, it is. But the Chargers didn't do that, what the 49ers did. The 49ers played cover 4 and quarters most of the snaps. The Chargers played a cover man press. They got right up in on receivers' grills. It's like, I'm going to be here all night, fool. And guess what? The linebackers jumped in there. Kyle Van Noy's like, I'm going to be here too. And they knocked them off their routes, impeded their routes. Well, when that shit starts happening, why don't you try something different, man? Run the damn football.
Yeah, just to make your point, Bob. You know, it's crazy stuff. We averaged almost 4-5 yards a carry. We were 4.8 last game. We almost got 92 yards rushing. It was working. We almost had better. We almost had a stronger rushing per yard attempt than we did on passing. Passing was 5.2. In the end, also and people today have been hard on. I'm not going to be hard on Josh Boyer for the sole purpose that he is the defensive coordinator, and there's a head coach above him. There's a head coach above him who should be questioning. Sorry, last night, what the number one problem I had with Josh Boyer, and why I have a problem with McDaniel on the coaching staff, was the 3rd and 17 call. You were relying on your defense. That was the worst defensive play call in the history of the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, don't play your guys at the sticks.
7 or 8 guys sitting in the end zone,
Yeah,
leaving
terrible.
Eckler there to go to a 4th and 1. How that was allowed to happen, that was worse than Pete Carroll's call with Russell Wilson throwing the ball in the Super Bowl. What are you doing to do that? Because you know what's been working with Joe Lombardi and the team in San Diego, in LA? They've been dinking and dunking all season. They saw that coming, and you left them open. You cost us the game. And Justin made an amazing point. Xavier Howard, the reason that was the biggest bullcrap of a captaincy move that he did last night. He got burned. He stayed with him, but he got burned by Mike Williams, and he didn't feel like tackling. Why? Because he was pissed. He's lazy. He's frustrated because he's saying, what the heck do we have to do here for our offense to give us some points?
Bingo!
It's ridiculous. Think of it. We lost the last 2 games. We were 1 touchdown away from winning a football game. Think about this. We were always a possession away, and it's always what ends up happening is that we crap our beds when we have the ball in the final quarter of a game where the offense didn't do what it needed to do. In the last minute of the game, the last 6 minutes of the game, there was no pressure. 6 minutes were killed. It went from 8 minutes to 2 minutes like that. Daniel, I don't know what it is. He doesn't want sustained drives. He wants quick
scoring drives.
And I don't understand it. To start off a game on the road and to get rid of 3 consecutive plays and waste 20 seconds, his clock management is worse than Andy Reid's.
It's
and
terrible.
Andy Reid has won a Super Bowl. So I don't know what it is. You're under the tutelage of Mike Shanahan and Dan Quinn and Kyle Shanahan and all of them, and you still have – he's outsmarting himself because he got so comfortable.
Got out-coached last night.
I tell everybody – this is my number one thing, my number one premise, and we'll talk about it after about the playoffs. The problem right now is not the fact that they're going to make the playoffs. It's the manner in which they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. That's
not playing like that.
No. They're going to make it because they still have 2 more home games. The 2 more home games are going to get them 10 wins, and 10 wins in this conference is going to get them in the playoffs. Trust me.
Nah.
Well, yeah, 100%. I can do the math for you after.
How many wins? How many wins?
10.
I'm safe with 11.
They're going to be 11, but they're going to be 10. But I just want to tell you,
thanks,
overall, I just want to say one thing.
Yes, sir.
There's one prediction I made a couple weeks ago because we want to focus on the positive. Bobby, 3 weeks ago, I made a prediction about somebody who, after the bye, was going to be perfect. Who has been perfect 3 games in a row?
Jason Sanders,
baby.
You got to look at the positive. It's okay. And we still have a 78% chance against
but here's a really important point for everyone in the chat and for you guys to realize. Today I listened to McDaniel just before. He said to his team, and this is why he is to blame. He told them coming out of the bye that every game needs to be treated like a playoff game. If this is how you're preparing your team for the playoffs, then
I'm scared.
Have failed as a coach. And you're a first-year coach, but you have failed your team because you're basically saying this is a playoff game. By the way, I don't know if you guys knew this. I read about this today. Do you know they purposely at the beginning of the season they requested before they even started that they were back, that if they're going to do this 3-game road trip, that they back-to-back, that they could stay in California. They worked it out with the NFL that they were going to. And he thought this would bring them together. They played worse last time than they did the week before.
Yep.
So what was this kumbaya? They probably would have been better off coming back home, getting a breather, and going back because I think they just didn't get over it.
Let me just say this in regards of McDaniel.
Stop what?
You're probably talking too much truth. The thing with
Did you call the cops yet?
I haven't. My phone is here though. It's here. It's ready to go.
You're in shock. You're in shock.
You haven't stepped over yet. No, you're getting there though. But I just want to say something on Coach McDaniel. Look, I wouldn't say failed the football team yet because we're still 8-5.
No, he
we're
has
8-5, and wait a second. He's a rookie coach. I said at the beginning of the year, you stated yesterday, you messaged me yesterday what I said, what I preferred as a coach was a veteran coach who's failed before, who knows how to, with Dan Quinn, Doug Peterson, even Leslie Frazier. But you got to give McDaniel credit in what he's done, what he's been able to wake up at Tua during that winning streak and everything. We saw that. You can say that now, but you were all over riding on his, you know what, win streak. Just because we're loads at 2 games.
No, but we're a team of streaks. We're a team of streaks.
We're a team of streaks, but let's wait till the final. Like I told you, he said, "Are you ready to apologize to Chris Greer?" I said, "Is the job finished? Are we done?" Nope. And now look. So we got to let the job.
Happy with Ross as an owner. I'm happy with Ross as an owner because if this doesn't work out, he will explode and it's going to be awesome.
I know that.
Yes.
I know that. I'm trying not to get up. First off, I want to thank everyone. I see everyone. Carlos, I think Stakey's in here.
Cap for life.
Cap always, man. Cap is awesome. He's everyone.
Cap's my dog.
Josh.
No, we're not in the playoff. No. Even if the Jets and Chargers win, we're still in the playoffs if we lose this week.
I don't know about that.
It starts to get dicey once you lose. If you lose to Buffalo, then it gets dicey where you have to win out after that. So, but we'll go into that in a second.
No,
but
they just need to win 2 or 3.
Thirsty,
Thirsty. My boy Rob.
Cat. But anyway, so for me with this, I get McDaniel. He hasn't adjusted, and I told you guys yesterday. And I'll say it again. I don't, me. I say things. I always go back and I hold myself accountable. I think players have to execute. There was no adjustments. Play calling, again, is struggling, but players have to execute. And as Justin brought up earlier, we talked about it last night.
I disagree.
Players don't have to execute?
Excuse me. In what mindset? Yes, but in what mindset is Jeff Wilson supposed to be going 20 yards downfield? In what mindset is Mike Gesicki supposed to catch the ball on the sidelines? Like, what kind of play calling is that? Mike Gesicki is a wide receiver down the middle who can go get that jump ball. Instead, you're throwing it to Tyreek Hill.
See, I think what Evan's trying to say is
he should be over the middle. You have not used Mike Gesicki at all. Try something different. It was so predictable. You think Mike Gesicki is going to catch a ball on the sidelines? He's not capable of doing that. That's not his skill set. Like,
I've been saying it all season.
Cat. They'll go after a rookie coach who's 8-5 on the season, rather than go after the players who've been like this for 3 years now.
Not true.
I'll let it ride.
I think what Evan's trying to get at is I think what he's trying to get at.
I've been hard on him for 5 games. I've been hard on him since the Bengals game, and you know that.
I think he's.
But when they're winning, it's all like.
No, I was hard on him in the Texans game.
I think it's a mix of both, you guys.
What you're waiting on, Steve, but we'll get there.
It's both. It's not just the players.
No,
it's
you're
the
right.
players
Justin's right.
with the play calling. It's both.
Play calling is a struggle, but the players have to execute.
Yeah, you got to execute what's called, but you can.
I'm with Justin. That's what I'm trying to say.
But you can help. But wait a minute, hold on. But you can help them out.
1, Evan, you're wrong.
But you can help them out by calling something different.
Canadian, that's your vote.
Like literally, you got to call something different, man. Like. I can play defense against Mike McDaniel's offense, and I guarantee you ain't moving the ball.
Well, it's like, but that's the thing, and he's becoming a prisoner
of his own success.
And his players. Yes, you got Tyreek, but you're going to run Tyreek into the ground.
He's already doing it.
And even if you're getting started, you're getting stopped. Continue to run the football. That's why Justin and I started talking. I love the small success Jeff Wilson has had, but he hasn't been there a couple weeks now. It's not. I was like kind of disappeared. Mostert's not really making a difference. Running backs is starting to become another priority for the Dolphins come draft time because it's gonna be an issue for Miami.
Right.
I want to make an interesting point because we're just about this game, which I'm going to clarify. One thing I'm sick and tired of when it comes to this team, and I don't understand it, where the heck is special teams? I have been a fan for 30 something odd years. This year, literally the only thing they do is fair catch. That's all they do. And I say to myself, that is momentum killer. We want to also why the Chargers also won the game is because they had great field position the entire game. Our special teams did nothing. There's no sense of urgency from our team as that being a part of the game. And that's also on the coaching staff. McDaniel's a head coach who's responsible for every aspect of the game. And I don't blame the secondary. They're banged up. The D-line is doing everything they can. The linebackers has a certain skill set. I believe they're not. I think they're not utilizing. They're not utilizing a key linebacker who has speed. I think they should be giving a shot. You drafted him, give him a shot. Another wide receiver. Cedric Wilson isn't doing much. Mike Gesicki's not doing much. What's Izukama just sitting there on the bench? You let him sit there for the entire season. What's the point? Try something different. The last 10 quarters, nothing has worked. Get out of your own way.
I don't think the reason the Dolphins. Okay, sorry.
There must be. You know what in a casino? I'm going to shut up. You know what, Casino? What's that stuff they put in to get you to stay and gamble more? What do you call pheromones? There must be the Brian Flores pheromones in Mike McDaniel's office because he's so goddamn stubborn. I'm going to call him Mike McFlow because it's honestly the way I'm watching that game last night. It was a Brian Flores run football game from the offensive side of the ball. It was a Jacksonville Jaguar type of game. He did not get out of his own way, and he's costing his team the football game. I don't care how bad.
The only thing I needed was pulling Tua and putting Teddy in. Then that would have been a Brian Flores game.
No, because Teddy wasn't there, and he doesn't trust Skyler.
Sorry, Skyler. Let me ask you, because a lot of people yesterday, when I was able to tune in, I wasn't able to watch most of the first half. I mean, I was able to. They were doing a live concert at the Christmas party, and I'm going like this.
Right.
I know. Well, I'm watching the first two drives of Miami, and of course, I was noticing he was stalling. Tua was missing receivers. It was like, on the defense. But being able to watch what I was able to, and then watching the second half, and of course, I was watching along with you guys because we were going off, But I saw a lot of people on Twitter though, which I don't usually go on social media during games. I can't stand it. But I turned it on, and a lot of people were going off on Boyer, fire Boyer. Everybody, all the talking heads, even Miami Dolphins Twitterverse, social media, they were going up saying fire Boyer. I'm saying, wait a second, am I watching a different football game? Because this is offense. Defense looks like they're getting their job done.
No.
Let me ask you this. Were the fans in the right, were a lot of the people on the right yesterday about fire Josh Boyer? Was it on the defense?
No, I think they're overreacting to the game
What's up, Kenna?
and what they've seen and then what happened in the end zone with that one bad call. But you can't blame Boyer for what happened. The defense is the only reason that we were in the football game in the first place. I'm just being honest. I mean, they ran 79 plays to our 49. That's like half, bro. It's the same thing that happened in Buffalo, but we didn't win the damn game. I mean, you have to go out there and sustain drives longer than 3 and out, 5 and out, 7 and out, 7, like that can't happen. Like, I don't think that the Dolphins and Dolphins fans in general, I don't think you guys quite understand how important first down is. First down is important. So when you go throw it 20 yards down the field and it's incomplete, damn, you just lost. Now you're behind the 8 ball because now it's 2nd and 10. And then you go 2nd and 10. Oh, you throw it again, incomplete. Now it's 3rd and 10, bro. Now instead of it being like 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 5 or less, I'm throwing 3rd and 10. Don't you understand? It's all about first down, 2nd down. Then we'll get to 3rd down. But everybody wants us to chuck it around because we got Tyreek and we got Waddle and this overpaid white boy who can't catch.
Can I tell
Damn.
you? You just said something right now. Can you talk about Gesicki?
Yeah, bro. I'm sick of this crap.
I know. We know he's gone after this year, but I want to.
Good
great point. Let me tell you. You said the fans don't care about 3rd down. They don't know how much important it is because they care about what you're saying. Tyreek, easy touchdown, 60 yards. They threw one. They finally got one. They kept chugging it until it worked. And it's like, no,
big deal.
Different. It's different.
I'm about to blame the
defense.
defense.
I'm coming right to you to respond. I saw you. I saw you do your little whispers. I'm like, oh, Evan's ready to play. Don't worry, I got you, brother. But I'm just going to say, it's true, and that goes on the offense too. It's like you have to call different plays. You have to diversify the offense, the run game, the passing game, slants. Like you said, thinking dunks. Look what Herbert was doing last night. And Herbert could toss it down the field. We know that. But you don't have to try to chuck it every damn time. It's not only on Tyreek and Jalen. And Jalen, what I said at the beginning of the year, people say I was crazy. Look at him now.
Yep.
Where is he? EVP.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Evan. What's your response?
Okay, the thing with Josh Boyer, the reason why I'm going to put Josh Boyer at the same level as Mike McDaniel is because of this simple reason. Mike McDaniel is the head coach, he's the play caller, but he basically made Josh Boyer the de facto defensive head coach, meaning that he's given full reign. He doesn't give a crap about the defense. He's sort of Adam Gase in that way. He doesn't care about he does not talk about the defense. And during press conferences, he only talks about Byron Jones and when he's not going to play. He does not talk about the defense. He leaves it to Josh Boyer. But Frank Smith and Mike Applebaum, they don't talk about much because Mike McDaniel is the leader on the offense. The reason why I blame Boyer.
That's not good.
Let me finish. I know that. Let me tell you why I blame Boyer. Let me tell you why I blame Boyer. He's sort of like Todd Bowles in Tampa Bay. He blitzes way too much. And people were talking about how Herbert yesterday was phenomenal. He was great. But how much with a team that can't get to the quarterback, how much are you going to pressure? All what he was running a lot, Herbert, to get his plays. But basically, everyone went to the outside trying to pressure, and he just came forward. And then he had plenty of space to throw it to Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. He forgot that Keenan Allen and Mike Williams were on the goddamn football field. And if you give any space to Justin Herbert, he's going to burn you. 5 plays, dink and dunks, and he never adjusted. The third downs, they were over 50-something%. They never get off the sustained drives. Those sustained drives, that 6-7 minute drive at the end of the game is all on Josh Boyer, because he did not put his team. He was playing soft on there and leaving his Kader Kohu and leaving Xavier Howard, leaving Javon Holland to fend for themselves because he was rushing way too much. It doesn't work.
It's honestly, because he had to take chances at that point because he knew the defense had to win the damn football game because the offense couldn't move
but I'd rather
football.
Than play back.
So what do you want him to do now, bro? Because right there, you try to back the dude into the corner right there, and literally there's nothing behind that shit right there. Like literally, he had to do what he had to do because he had to take risks on defense to try to win the damn football game for the team because the head football coach couldn't get the fucking job done.
Explain the 3rd and 17 call before the half. What kind of garbage was that?
I don't know. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm talking about the offense
that cost you
not doing what they need to do to get the fucking game won.
Before halftime?
You know? I mean, seriously, dude, you can't have 3 and outs like that. You can't. You're not going to win any football games like that.
Cost us the football game because that was a guaranteed touchdown when you left on the 4th and 1 because you knew Staley was going to go for it.
I know, but I'm just saying he had to risk it. He had.
Let me just say that he was there last year.
Wait. So, I heard this last night from somebody.
We did choke.
We choked.
Of course we choked.
Okay, so
I agree with that.
Listen, first of all, listen. The problem is, what's the bread and butter of this football team? What's the identity of this football team?
High-scoring offense.
No, passing. Sorry, high-scoring passing offense.
Yep, and they just want to throw it down the field. That's the whole problem with this whole football team.
By the way, Alec Ingold can't block for his freaking life. I don't know what they're doing with him, but he was awful again last night, Alec Ingold.
It's because you got to get the dude into rhythm if you want to use him like that.
Where's Bro,
you got to learn how to use these players. Like, you got to learn how to use these players, bro. He doesn't. If you want to run the ball,
Ingold was just being praised last week. I'm not going to go off on Alec Ingold. He's done it damn
good. He's great.
But I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming McDaniel. Where is Alec Ingold?
Agree.
Where is Durham Smythe? Where's Mike Gesicki?
That's all play calling, bro. That's all play calling, bro. Everything you're talking about.
I mean, I'm not even. He was 0 for 0 yesterday.
Should have traded the dude at the deadline.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know what you're doing.
He hasn't had a catch in 3 games. He hasn't had a catch in 3 games.
But you're paying the dude $11 million this season.
Look at that.
Even by the way, even Marino, they did a close up on him at the end.
I saw his face. He was like this.
What's up, Kenneth? Kenneth says.
You know what the one benefit is before we talk about the elephant in the room after?
Yeah.
The other 2 quarterbacks that he wanted, our owner, are crapping the bed where they are too. They're as bad as the elephant in the room was last 2 games. Brady is crapping the bed, and he's 100 years old in Tampa, and Deshaun Watson is crapping the bed in Cleveland for the first 2 games. So
the Watson thing, I'm
he's awful.
Of everything. Yeah, but I mean,
I don't care. He's had a lot of weeks to practice.
He's rusty. Come on.
Oh, please.
He's rusty. Anyway,
he's a Cleveland Brown. That's why he's rusty.
Yeah. All right. So this one's going for Evan, but I just want to read Kenneth's comment. And thank you guys for all tuning in. Smash that like and subscribe.
Hit it.
500. Once we get past 500, we're only 20 away. Once we pass 500, there's the jersey giveaway.
It's on.
It all starts with Tua. Just as much as we want to run, we must hit on those passing plays when it's time. And sometimes the defense knows that's the problem with running on first and second.
Actually, it all starts with the offensive line.
By the way, the offensive line, the last 2 weeks, the offensive line has not been the reason why you have not played bad. They've been
I know, but to say it all starts with Tua is like that's
no, it starts with the trenches. It's not
that's
far-fetched. With the quarterback, but going with starts and ends with the quarterback, like Hank would say. Evan, for the 2nd week in a row, I know.
For the casual fans, that could be correct, but that's not correct.
I'm about to go
okay. With the 2nd week in a row,
all the cops.
Tua has struggled. I got the phone ready. Tua has struggled. I mean, I think that this time it was the worst. Yesterday was the worst game of the season for him.
Worst game of his career. His playing career.
Okay, that's fine. You know me, I go by this season, but you're right. Okay.
Yeah, playing career.
What are your last night he was, I mean, only 25 yards in the first quarter. I mean, the first half. God. Finished the game 10 of 28, 145 yards and a touchdown. You just stated that it wasn't the offensive line, but he looked like he was playing scared. Armstead was there. So what the hell is going on with Tua, man?
Tua, the biggest issue with Tua, he asked me, Tua right now, Mr.
You follow up,
Number Uno
Justin.
over
You
there,
follow
Uzi
up.
behind me. He is caught up in the moment, and he is pressing to the point where everything looks forced, everything looks uncomfortable, and I think he's way too comfortable. Last year, he was very uncomfortable in his role, but because he now has a coach who truly believes in him, who's basically locked himself to him, and they're tied at the hip. If he does poorly, so what? He's way too comfortable right now in his position, and if he doesn't do well, at the end of the game he looked chill. He goes hang out with Herbert, give him a hug, whatever. In the end, I just feel that Tua right now is proven right now on the road. He cannot win an important football game. He is showing that he's not an elite quarterback unless he's playing at home.
You killed
unless
it.
he's playing. He is basically, you know what he actually is? You're going to be
I'm
shocked.
coming home, honey.
Whoa. Tua Tagovailoa is a capable, accurate quarterback who could be a very great success in this league. But the reason why he's a Miami Dolphin is because he's epitomizing what a Miami Dolphin player has been for the last 30 years, which is a good player who wins at home, who wins when it doesn't matter, and loses when it matters on the road. What he's basically done right now is he's backed himself into a corner where they're going to get into the playoffs and they're going to have to go on the road, outdoors, where it's cold, and be the same old Dolphins. So he's the epitome of what a Miami Dolphin is. And he's supposed to be getting us out of that. And unfortunately, he is so tied to the hip to McDaniel that he's not going rogue and trying to figure out his own play. Trust me, there were plays where somebody was so open, but because he's so built around the scheme, right now he's basically he's like in the army, where you're told when you have to go take a piss, when you have to do your calisthenics, when you have to go to flagpole, when you have to. He literally is a prisoner of the moment, and he doesn't know how to get out of his own way.
Because he's a disciplined football player. You're calling everything that he does. He's
a game manager who's afraid. You know who he is?
I saw last night, dude. He started wanting to come out of that.
Mike McDaniel is Brian Flores of the offense. And Mike, what he has basically shown yesterday is he's a version of Ryan Tannehill, where Ryan Tannehill fell behind yesterday and couldn't get his team back in the game. If it doesn't work early if it doesn't work for him at one point, he gets stuck. And I'm not comparing to the Baltimore game. When it has mattered at night, whether it's against Pittsburgh, whether it was a big game against San Francisco,
well, they adjusted in that game.
The game in Tennessee, the games against Buffalo, every key big moment, he has crapped the bed. And the one thing I'm completely shocked by is if you listen to the talking heads today, they were a lot less harder on Tua than I thought they were going to be. Because now they're still looking at Buffalo and they still believe in this team. And I don't think the only reason why they believe in this team, I'm sorry, the only reason why people still believe in this team is because of Cheetah. If Cheetah wasn't on this team would be written off for dead.
Right.
Period.
Well, I'll be honest.
Tua is let me just one more thing. Tua right now
so long-winded, bro.
No, I know. Tua is part of a team. No, Tua is part of a team. Tyreek Hill is, like I said before the season, Tyreek Hill's our Dan Marino. And unfortunately right now, Tua needs to has to step out and become the leader of this team again, or he's our quarterback next year no matter what. But what he's basically showing right now is he's giving people reasons to question him again. And that's on him. No matter what, right now, you're the quarterback. You chose to play that position. This is your career path. Show us what you can do. In the last two games, you basically showed how small you are in the moment. And I'm very disappointed in his last two performances.
All right. The last I looked, there's 53 guys that play on a football team, not just one guy. And there's 11 guys out there on the football field. There's also a whole team full of coaches as well. So, you know what? Everybody, you can be as casual as you want and be like, it's on the quarterback and it's on the head coach. That's fine, bro. You take that route. But I know what I'm looking at. I know what I'm seeing. It's not just on Tua. It's on the head coach. It's on every other person that's on that football field, not just him. It's on Teron Armstead. It's on Robert Hunt. It's on Connor Williams. It's on all of them. So it's not just on Tua, bro. So we can all sit here till you're doughy, crap the bed. Yeah. Well, maybe the guy should get out of his own fucking way and call a running play once in a while. That might fucking help. Maybe you should call a screen pass once in a while or do something different like an end around or a jet sweep. But no, you don't. So everybody wants to blame the coach blame the quarterback and all that. But dude, there's all the other guys who aren't executing as well. So it's not just him. No. It's everybody, bro. Mike McDaniels goes into these games on the West Coast, dude, and I swear to God, I've never seen a guy go from one coach to another coach in a matter of 2 weeks because that's what just happened. I watched a dude go from being, wait a minute, let me finish. I watched a guy go from being like, I'm consistent, I'm going to do what I need to do to win us the football games. It's all about the team. It's all about us winning and going forward, to a dude getting cocky on the side, like, oh, we're going to go win this football game. And having all this stuff going on the sideline, getting caught up in the damn moment instead of somebody reeling the dude back in and being like, dude, Mike, calm down. We need to do this, and this. He has got no one reeling him in on the sideline, being like, dude, we can't just air it out. We need to pass it. Yeah, it's his own fault. But we can't just sit here and be like, yo, it's all on Tua, dog. It's all on Tua, dog.
I never said it was on Tua.
Anybody who says that shit, you need to go watch some film, dog.
No, hello. Right now, in the NFL right now, if you look at the quarterbacks that are winning football games, it doesn't matter what the rest of the offense does, they win football games. There's a statue.
That's not true.
Stadium. There's a superstar quarterback who had no defense and no running game his entire career, and he's still one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the history of this league.
Yeah, his name was Dan Marino.
He found a way to get out of the moment. Okay.
Well, Tua Tagovailoa is not Dan Marino.
I never said but he has more weapons this year than Dan Marino ever had, except for Duper.
It's not all on him, bro.
I'm not saying that, but I don't care how on him.
Design it right.
You're 10 for 28. You can't blame the coach.
Let me say something.
Let me say 28 for 20.
I'm blaming the coaching staff.
He makes the choice on where he's throwing the goddamn football. He's throwing the ball to
coaches call the
plays. I'm being hard on Tua. You should be shocked.
No, I don't disagree with you. I just want to say, first off, I don't think anybody has said it's all on Tua. I don't think, and that's
man.
See, it goes the same thing last week. Hold on, I have to say the same
Just
thing.
had a guy comment in here. It's all on Tua. Starts with Tua.
Starts with the quarterback.
Oh, there's someone right there.
Listen. But when we win the game, when the Dolphins are winning games, it's all Tua. And I said this the other day on Finch Talk. I said this on the other day on Finch Talk today. Bandwagon. I should have wrote down how many times I heard Tua. We're gonna win the charge because of Tua. I don't know. I should have had a check mark. I saw that on the Bandwagon, which is a great show on Tuesdays. They call it Eastern with Evan Potts. But I saw that on so many other shows.
I know you didn't hear it on Digging in the Trenches because I said Teron Armstead.
You said a lot of things. But all I'm saying is, listen, when we win games, we're going to win the game because of Tua. We're going to do this because of Tua. Oh, we won the game because of Tua. Look what Tua did. Look at this. Oh, MVP. Oh, this. It's not like Tua threw for 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, or 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 300 yards, and we lost the game, and you go, how the hell can we blame Tua? Tua played like shit yesterday.
Team played like shit. You win as a team and you lose as a team.
The offensive line gave him every chance for 2 weeks in a row.
Hold on, Evan. Wait a second. Did Tua not play like shit? No?
No, I didn't say that. Yeah, he played bad. But you still win as a team and you lose as a team.
Sure, but that's not the point. The point is...
That is the point.
No, we're talking about Tua. We're not talking about the team. We already talked about the team. We're talking about our quarterback. Supposedly, the MVP
There's nothing to talk about.
There is everything to talk about. He can't win in big games. He can't win in December. This is 3 years of tape. You're saying watch the tape. Watch the tape. 3 years of tape with Flores, McDaniel, Tyreek, every other damn weapon, no weapons in the book. 3 years of bullshit play when it counts. These are 2 games. He's 26th ranked defense, and they couldn't do anything. You could blame Flores and his play calling with their offensive coordinators. You could blame McDaniel. The fact of the matter is, Tua at the start of the game, which with throws all open receivers, he was missing them all. So you can't say it gets. We got to keep the same energy. Again, if we're gonna go, this guy's the second coming of Dan Marino, whatever the hell you want to call him, and then when he plays like shit, can't blame him. Bullshit. Why he protecting his feelings? The fact of it is he did not play well 2 weeks in a row. Of course, I understand against San Francisco, and I said he's earned the right to play have a bad game. But against the Chargers defense, against the Charger, he was playing scared and missing wide open wide receivers. Come on. What the hell? Let's call it as we see it. When he has a good game, let's say he has a good game. When he has a bad game, why are we protecting the guy? He had a bad game. The whole team had a bad game.
I'm a member
The whole
of QAnon.
I'm just gonna win and lose as a team.
Let me tell you,
sound like Tyreek Hill.
I want to hear win. I want to hear win as a team, because if we win as a team next week or the week after, and somebody's telling me about Tua, I'm gonna lose my shit, because I've heard two different sides from two different people. When it's about winning, it's Tua, man, he's MVP, he's the real one. But we lose. Don't say nothing bad. Come on, guys.
For me, the debate is over. I'm never gonna do that. I never did the comparison, but for me, what it showed last night is that unless Mike McDaniel puts Tua in a position to give him the right scheme at the right moment, he's not able to improvise on his own to win himself football games.
McDaniel, as a rookie coach, needs to learn to adjust. He hasn't done that.
He's not,
he probably did, but he hasn't adjusted the last 2 weeks.
No. For me, overall, last night, what it showed from Tua is that if I was him as a quarterback, you see what happens. Why is Tom Brady? I'm not comparing him, but Tom Brady is a 7-time Super Bowl winner because when he gets to the bench and he's mad, he goes after his team. He throws tablets. He shows emotion.
Yeah, but
let me finish. Let me get my point across.
Okay.
Tua right now, what he basically is showing is that something is up. Right now, he's not the same quarterback. I don't like, it's all on us. We're going to be better. And like Justin said, we lose as a team. But you want to know what? Right now, there's one stat he cannot get away from. That was the worst performance, percentage-wise, passing-wise, of any quarterback this season. And we're going to talk about the next game after. If he thinks he's going to get away with this on this Saturday, Mike Milano is going to tear him apart. Did he just leave because he got pissed?
Maybe not. I mean, he was too late.
Okay, all I'm going to say is even Tyreek Hill had a rough game, losing it in the lights. Where is Jalen Waddle? Where is Mike Gesicki? Where is Jeremy Smythe? Where is Alec Ingold? And that's on McDaniel, and that's on the quarterback. Because in the end, the only people who can get these people to football are the quarterback and the head coach scheming-wise. And that's the problem. I'm the number one Tuanon. I believe in him. But the one thing I'm proud about with all the Tuanons is we are being hard on Tua today because he wanted these moments. He wanted this. He wanted this opportunity, and he has not performed to the level of what he needs to do to win football games. The moment the lights are on him in a playoff game or a night game, think about this. We almost lost to the Steelers. He did not play well at the beginning of the Bengals game before he got hurt. And I'll even admit that. The game against San Francisco where everyone was watching. Last night, every single game he has had the opportunity to perform, he is a shell of the quarterback he was in all the previous games. He's just not the same quarterback when this happens. And unfortunately, that takes him out of the topic of Herbert or a Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. Like, there's not a lot of great quarterbacks in this league right now. There's a certain level right now where there's Patrick Mahomes right now, and there's pretty much and there's everybody else. And then there's Josh Allen, and there's everybody else, and then maybe there's Justin Herbert. But no, there's a lot of bad quarterbacks. And you want to know why I also blame the overall team? Look at what Baltimore somehow has won 2 games without Lamar Jackson. They find a way to scheme around it. Why? Yesterday they had J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards run for 200 yards. Mike McDaniel, your quarterback isn't performing well. Use the freaking run game. Try something. Little dink and dunks. What happened to the dink and dunking that gets people yards? Sustain drives. Kill the clock. Make them work for it. Make the defense tired. This is the second game in a row where the other team has had double the amount of time on the field than we have. How do you expect that's why it is more on the coaching staff than it is on Tua. How do you want the offense to sustain themselves and to get better when you're literally giving them a minute or two on the field because you're being so freaking aggressive with the long ball? You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me, Bobby, that you and I going out and grabbing our buddies and going to play pickup football. And all we want to do is try the Hail Mary. He's trying to get the big play every chance he gets. That's not how you win football games. You win football games by going down the field with sustained pressure and keeping the defense honest. The defense knew what was coming before you snapped the ball. And that's why
yeah, I know, and you're not wrong, but I would say this though: that goes on the coach right there too.
Yeah.
You got to call different plays and you got to train this guy to not always look towards. I know Tyreek is appealing. He's the best player on the football team. He's an MVP candidate, in my opinion. He should be over Tua, and I've been saying that. But you got to try different things. To me, that's on the coach. But I agree. It becomes easy Pete. Let me get it down the field and get it, to the guy who could do it.
No, we beat Buffalo, right? We beat Buffalo at home. Who lost us that? Who lost in that football game? Probably Ken Dorsey with his last couple play calls. Like, when I knew the game was over, when I lost all respect for McDaniel was when it was 3rd and 17 and you still had a chance to get down the field and try and score a touchdown. He was so comfortable with Jason Sanders taking the field goal, he just dink and dunked. It took him forever to figure out, you want to know what? Let me just do a quick little slant. Let me get the field goal and kill the clock. Like, he didn't think about that the entire game. He waited till the last or second to last play of the game to do it. And that's my frustration right now, is that the team is overthinking these games. Go in there. They're better as the underdog, right? I don't know what it is. The moment they are the favorite, they choke like dogs. And it's just sad to see that it doesn't matter if it's Ryan Fitzpatrick. It doesn't matter if it's Ryan Tannehill. It doesn't matter if it's Adam Gase. It doesn't matter if it's Mike McDaniel. Us Dolphin fans are masochistic. We're bipolar and we swing and every day we change our minds on how we feel. I love the team, right? It's my childhood team. It's what I grew up with. I love it. I could rewrite it, talk about history, but the thing that frustrates me right now,
rewrite history.
Rewrite history.
Yeah, Thursday's gonna have to post or send you some.
All I could say is what makes me sad is the fact that this team has the skill set more than they've had for 25 years to win big. But the coach right now is basically saying, whatever I was doing for the first 13 games has worked, so why should I change? So, but the thing is that people adapt. People watch tape. People are just as smart as he are. There's 32 head coaches in the league because there's 32 people who have deserved to be head coaches. It's not an easy job to get.
No.
Don't think that because you have this opportunity, don't squander it. He should realize that he has a guy up in the loges who will fire him and Greer at a moment's notice if he feels he can get a better person. So don't overthink it. Appreciate it. He said adversity is all this kind of. I'm tired of the cliches. Go out there and show fire. Like, you want to know what? Actually, I didn't mention this before, but we haven't talked about it yet. If that was Brian Flores on the sidelines last night, he would have been ejected from the game. That Jalen Phillips call on roughing the passer.
Yeah.
I would have lost. I lose my mind at my kid's 7-year-old hockey game that he did last night. He is so overly nice about it. He gets upset. He gets shocked. I would have been throwing everything. I would have lost my mind. You want to know why? Because it would have lit a fire under his team. You think that most of the time in baseball, these managers believe what they're saying? They go out there, they spit in the face of the umpire, they kick dirt, they take off the bases. They do that to light a fire under their team. He's not lighting a fire under their team, and that is on him. Because you want to know what? I would have been ejected from that football game last night. He's not standing up for his team there, because I would have lost my mind. I would have said something. I would have been fined at the press conference. I don't care. Stephen Ross would have paid it for me. I don't care. Do something. But there's
does Mike McDaniel equal Jason Garrett?
No, Mike McDaniel equals the Dalai Lama, Mother Teresa.
Okay,
like, he wants to be everyone. No, you know what it is? You're going to appreciate this. He wants to be everyone's friend, but he's a football coach. And a football coach has to have that sense of separation. The problem right now is, how is Tua going to redeem himself here unless someone basically lights a fire under him? And right now, I think Tua is he's going to try to figure it out himself, and Mike McDaniel's going to try to let him figure it out and just basically guide him through it. But right now, there has to be a sense of urgency for Tua. Tua doesn't feel that sense of urgency anymore because he's had success, and people are now saying he's a good quarterback. The problem right now is because right now he's basically earned his job for next year with McDaniel, because they've lost a draft pick. They're not going to go. There's not going to be any superstar quarterbacks to go get next year. So he has a job next year. My frustration right now with Tua is that we want I can blame Chris Greer. I blame Chris Greer from the perspective of you should have demanded when you hired McDaniel to get an experienced veteran on the coaching staff. There's no experienced veteran on the coaching staff. And also, I'm anti-Patriots. So any former Patriots coach should have been gone this year. Bye-bye, Josh Boyer. So for me, overall, this is the last 2 weeks are an overall failure of the Miami Dolphins football team because they basically showed when it matters, they always crap the bed. And even the most positive Dolphins fans like myself and the talking heads in Florida who are pro-Tua and pro-Dolphins were basically saying there's no more excuses. We've had ammunition for the first 12 weeks, but the offense right now falls on Mike McDaniel. And on the 5 losses, I can easily pin the 5 losses on Mike McDaniel.
So let me do this.
Where did Justin go? He got pissed at me and he left?
I maybe, but I know he wasn't feeling well, so he might have been just too hyped up. But that's okay. You could catch him tomorrow.
Hope you feel better.
You can catch him tomorrow if he's feeling good on Dolphins Thirsty's YouTube account.
Damn internet.
Dolphins
damn
Daily.
internet. He said damn internet.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Come to Canada. Our internet's perfect here. Come to Canada.
Free internet. No, just
no. Our internet's actually really good up here. It's fiber. It's really good.
Oh, I'm sure. Let me talking about Dolphins Thirsty. Rob, who was in the comments, and I'm glad he's still here because he probably asked him, "Are you mad at the guys?" I knew you were texting him, Rob. But Rob, who's in the comments, I'm glad he's still here. I know we're running late, but last week, and again, if you guys love Dolphins content, go to dolphinsthirsty.com. Check out all his content that he puts up on there. Great stuff. Follow him on Twitter. Every day on Dolphins Thirsty's YouTube account. You can subscribe there. They're growing. Him and Justin every morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, Dolphins Daily, Dolphins content, awesome stuff.
Yes, it is.
He stated last week, and this was going to be a question for Justin, but he's not here right now. But this was a must-win for Miami yesterday. And if they lost, they were pretenders. Are you, Evan, ready to call the Dolphins pretenders right now?
I'm not ready to call them pretenders yet because, like I said, the way the conference is balancing out, any team can win in the playoffs. Last year, the Bengals didn't play well getting into the playoffs, and they got hot. If the Miami Dolphins lose next week and they win the next 3 and they finish 11-6 and they make the playoffs going in hot, anything can happen. The reason why I will call them semi-pretenders is because what they basically have done, if they win in Buffalo and then they go win all out, they're contenders. If they lose this week, I will call them pretenders heading into the playoffs because what they will have shown is that in 3 consecutive big primetime or big football games, which are equivalent to playoff games because you're playing playoff caliber football with superstars on both on every team, you basically have shown that you're going to go on the road and try and win. And this team has a guaranteed L on their forehead if they're heading in to face Cincinnati or they're facing Kansas City or not going to face Kansas City or Buffalo or whoever they're going to face on the road. If they have to go on the road and face someone in cold weather, they're in deep, deep trouble.
Let's take a look at that very quick. And while we are answering that, and I'm looking this up, Rob, you're in the comments, man. Again, great stuff every morning, and of course tomorrow at 7:30 with Steve for Real Talk Fins Talk. But Rob, you're in the comments, man. Answer me, brother. You said that the Dolphins would be pretenders. Are you ready to call them pretenders? I think they are teetering on being pretenders after this loss against the Chargers. I wasn't going to call that after San Francisco, but if they lose against Buffalo, then
I don't.
You got
if they lose a close game to Buffalo, and Tua and the offense look like they've come back, they look like an offensive team again, then there's something to work with. But if they look like they have the last 2 games, then they're 100% pretenders. Because I said, because let's just do the math. Right now, the Raiders are not going to make it. They have 8 losses. The Broncos are done. The Texans are gone. The Colts are gone.
That's what I'm going to look up.
No. The Jaguars are gone. Okay, so let's just look at it. Okay, Buffalo is in. The Buffalo's in. The Ravens are in. The Bengals are in. That's 3. The Titans are awful. They've lost 3 in a row. There's been as bad as the Dolphins have been, if not worse. They have 7 if they win their division. So they're going to get in. That's 4. That's 4. The Chiefs are 5. Then you have the Chargers, us, and the Jets. The way the Jets are playing, but now losing one of their key defenders, they don't have it.
We're going to call him Evan Wingate now. Evan Wingate is in the house. Yeah. That's what we're going to call him from now.
I appreciate you, Josh. I appreciate you. The fight's going to be where the fight for me is literally. I'm not worried about not making the playoffs. Because I think we can win out after the. It's a matter for me. I'm not worried about winning next week. I'm worried about realizing that you have to adjust and change how you are in order to win. It's the same way when you were at that game last year in Tennessee. Duke Johnson was running the ball well, and you got away from that early, and you started kicking the ball. You got out quickly. You were not the coaches are so stubborn with themselves. They don't realize what's right in front of them, and that's why you need an offensive. That's why you always need an assistant who's in your ear. There's a reason why when you're a golfer and you go golf, you have a caddy.
Nobody said that,
before you play. You need an offensive assistant. You need an assistant. Mike McDaniel right now does not have that person on the sidelines, and he's too busy looking at this. He should be looking around everywhere. When you're looking down at this, like
you knew, I've told you.
No. Why, look at Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy calls the plays, but so does Andy Reid. But they're a combined effort. He doesn't have a partner there, and he leaves Josh Boyer to go do what he wants. The only difference between him and Adam Gase right now is Adam Gase goes to sit down when the defense is playing.
Let me
when
do
the
this.
defense, what he's doing, he's kibitzing with Tua.
Let me. Last week, man, and again, just talking about it. I remember when you said if we lost, because you were disheartened by the San Francisco loss. You honestly are disheartened with the Chargers. But you did state that if Miami lost against the Chargers, we could be seeing 3 straight losses, and that's against Buffalo.
I do still 3 straight. I do 100% see 3 straight losses.
That's fine. So let's do something very quick, and this is kind of off the cuff, but I was doing this earlier, and you could just say, Bob, we're gonna.
I didn't forget about the tiebreaker, but they're gonna count. The Jet. Let's just want to look quickly.
Hold on. So Arizona and New England are playing right now. Do we have the score on that?
That score is because Murray went out of the game. Murray had a non-contact injury early on in the game, so he's out. So facing Colt McCoy, I don't
play a video game.
I'll tell you the score.
Hello, neighbor.
13-10 Cardinals.
Okay, so let's
say the Patriots are going to lose. Patriots are going to lose.
Okay, so let's just say the Patriots lose. That's fine. Currently, right now in the AFC, Buffalo is the number 1 seed. The second seed is Kansas City. So the Chargers would go against the Chiefs. The Dolphins would first the Baltimore Ravens in the wild card. And you got Cincinnati versus the Tennessee Titans. That's right now. We're gonna jump. Let's do this very quick, Evan. Let's have some fun. Everyone in the comments, and you guys can put your thoughts in here. Ralph says, smash that like and subscribe button. He's absolutely right. And if you want to get over 500 subscribers, do a jersey giveaway, which is awesome. So I'm not really worried about the NFC game. So I'm just gonna move along here. Okay. Let's just look at the AFC teams here week to week, Evan, okay? Baltimore at Cleveland. Jackson's still out. This is next week.
Cleveland will win that running the ball.
Got you. Okay. I'm going to hold the Miami game for the end. Miami versus Buffalo. We're going to try 2 different ways. We're going to do win and loss so everybody understands. Okay. So I'm not worried about NFC games. I'm just going to skip that. Okay. Let me just make sure I'm not going to miss something here.
The Jets are going to lose to the Lions.
Okay. Let me just make sure something with.
The Lions are going to win. Honestly, the Lions they're playing with such momentum. Like right now, we expect Kansas City to beat Houston. Right? Okay. Let me just mention one thing.
Yeah.
The person I wanted to see on our sideline last night was Dan Campbell. That's who I would have wanted to see last night. That motivation, that anger, that's the kind of coach we needed last night to get this.
Can I just tell you? I'll tell you after the show my something, and just remind me. Just Dan Campbell, Vrabel. Just tell me that. Okay. Yeah. I don't want to say it here because it's off record. So, but anyway, Cowboys versus the Jaguars. We ain't worried about that. I'll just say Cowboys for Mr. Wingate. You said the Lions beating the Jets.
100%.
Okay. Well,
the way they're playing, the Jets can. Mike White can honestly, because no matter what, I don't care where they're playing.
And the Lions defense is playing like
not even the Lions defense. Aiden Hutchinson's a different player, but no matter what, the Jets cannot. Mike White or Joe Flacco are not going to put up more than 25, 30 points. And and Sauce Gardner was exposed. But the way they're playing right now, Detroit's playing with house money right now. They know they have a chance to make the playoffs if they win out.
Okay. So Broncos, Cardinals, I don't think
Doesn't
that
count.
matters. Yeah.
The Patriots will lose to me. It's a McDaniel versus Belichick in Las Vegas. Las Vegas will somehow pull that off in Vegas.
Okay, they're at home. Okay, so Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, and then we got Tennessee versus the Chargers.
I think Tennessee will run. I think Tennessee is going to basically use the blueprint of what the Miami Dolphins didn't do, and Henry's going to run for 200-something odd yards.
Okay, let's roll with that. So the Chargers, the Tennessee Titans will.
The Bengals are going to kill the Buccaneers. They're going to crush them.
Okay, we're going to roll with that. Then you got this one doesn't matter.
That's the week after.
And this one doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to roll with that. We're going to keep it. Okay, we did the first week. We talked about what the playoffs look
so
like.
Basically, the Dolphins are going to be in the exact same spot they were.
I'm so sorry. Okay, yes, I'm sorry. Okay, so if Miami wins, which is all our hope, Miami will move from the 6th to the 5th seed. The way it goes, they'll be 9-5, and they'll be facing the Titans in the wild card, which they'd be at Tennessee. I'd be okay with that because then it's right there. I'm going to.
No, then I have to fly to Franklin.
That's right. There you go. And then if they lose, the way the week goes, let's say Miami drops a game to Buffalo and they fall 9-6, 8-6. Excuse me. They're in the 6th seed. So that.
The Chargers are going to lose because basically Mike Vrabel is going to use the tape of what the Dolphins did and realize I have frickin' Derrick Henry, and he's going to run the ball down their throat.
Let's do this. I'm going to stick with a loss because I think everybody's kind of teetering. They're kind of nervous about
the game. They're going to 100% going to lose.
So let's. I
have no doubt in my mind they're going to lose. Me, Mr. Bandwagoner, has no doubt in his mind that the Miami Dolphins do not stand a snowball's chance of beating the Buffalo Bills. There's not even a 1% chance they're going to win.
The Chargers play the Titans next week. All right, so week 16.
Yeah, Derrick Henry is going to.
Jaguars. Okay, let's run this quick. Jaguars at Jets.
Where is that? That's Thursday Night Football. I think the Jets are teetering right now. I think they're gonna basically fall out. I think the Jaguars also similar the way they played yesterday against the Titans. The Doug Peterson now has figured out something with Trevor Lawrence and Zay Jones and Evan Ingram, and I think they're a different team.
So Atlanta at Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Okay. We don't care about that. Okay. Chicago versus Buffalo. Buffalo. Saints at Browns. Andy Dalton, right?
Browns.
Okay. So, and then you got Chiefs, Seattle Chiefs. We're back. Okay.
Tennessee's going to beat Houston. Kansas City will beat the Seahawks.
Bengals at New England.
Bengals.
So here. Raiders at Pittsburgh. Raiders at Pittsburgh. What do you got?
Raiders at Pittsburgh. At Pittsburgh.
Okay. So. Okay, and then now we're at the Dolphins. Green Bay at the Dolphins. Christmas Day. If Miami wins, Miami's currently at the 6th seed, despite all the games how they've played so far. If Miami wins, which that's a whole different.
Miami's going to win out after that game, after Buffalo.
Okay. But we're
going
to play around with this as it goes along here. Okay, so Miami wins. They're the 6th seed. They stay at the 6th seed. And they're going against Cincinnati. So from the 5th seed they drop to the 6th seed. I guess based off what's going on in this week. If they lose, they drop to the 7th seed. So they're still in the playoffs. But if they lose against Buffalo, then they lose against Green Bay based off what we're saying here on predictions with the whole schedule. The Dolphins are still in the playoffs, but now they've dropped to the 7th seed, and they're going against the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think right now that's a win for me. We'll see what happens with Buffalo. California, what's up, man? All right. So Dallas at Tennessee.
Dallas at Tennessee. Dallas.
Okay. Cardinals at Atlanta. We don't care about that. Let's not worry about that. Pittsburgh at Baltimore.
Pittsburgh.
You got Pittsburgh.
If Jackson's not back, Pittsburgh.
Okay. The Lions here, and I'm going to maybe.
It's always a tough. It's basically a revenge game for the Steelers.
So Broncos at Kansas City.
It's Kansas City all day. Kansas City all day.
But I will say that interdivision games any given Sunday. But I'm going Kansas City.
Yeah, but Brett Rippey and I think what's the thing? Who knows when Russell Wilson will be back? But
that's true. That's true. Let me roll here. Don't care. Cleveland, Washington.
Washington.
Okay. San Francisco and the Raiders. The San Francisco. Jets and Seattle.
Seattle. I'm telling you, the Jets are falling off a cliff. That game burned them yesterday.
Okay. Here.
They may not win another game. Maybe
Baker Mayfield and the Rams versus Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
That stadium, upset by the Rams on that stadium. They're going to say, that's my house. You're borrowing my house.
Yeah, it's not really. Yeah, okay. It's true.
You're renting the stadium. You're borrowing the stadium.
And then you got Buffalo at Cincinnati.
Buffalo.
Okay. So now we got Miami and New England. And now we're going to go win or loss. We think it could be a win-out situation for Miami, but we're going to go both ways here. And again, as the season progresses here, week to week, we can make changes as we go, Evan. But we're just rolling with this here.
No.
So right now, if Miami wins, they will jump back to the 5th seed. That's going against the Tennessee Titans. So all good there. If they lose, they stay at the 6th seed, still in the playoffs, and they go against the Cincinnati Bengals. Who would you rather go against in that situation, the Bengals or the Titans?
The way the team is structured right now, I want the Titans. I don't want to touch them. I'm not touching the Bengals.
I want the Titans just because it's in Tennessee.
No, I think it's
Evan with me. I got
very different. We're not going to make that because they're not going to make the same mistake they made last time.
So let me just get past here. New England at Buffalo.
New England's going to shock them there because they always play them hard there.
Okay,
give New England a win.
I got you. And then Tennessee at Jacksonville.
Tennessee.
Okay.
Actually, no.
Upset?
Jacksonville at home. Actually, upset. 100% upset.
Upset. Okay. Ravens at Cincinnati.
Cincinnati may not lose another game.
So I'm going to skip Miami for right now.
Actually, they're going to lose against Buffalo. Cincinnati's going to lose one more game against Buffalo. The rest are not going to lose.
Got you. Let's see here. Not worried about that. Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Cleveland.
Okay. Let's see here. Chargers at Denver.
Chargers.
And then we got Chiefs at Raiders.
Chiefs.
Okay. So right now it's New York at Miami, the Jets versus the Dolphins. Of course, the Jets beat the Dolphins earlier in the year.
Not gonna have a chance.
Evan believes that they're going to go on a slide here.
It's a matter of streaks. The Dolphins are not going to lose. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So let's just say Miami wins, right? Miami wins that game. The only game we see them possibly losing, where we're going to talk about it, or we see them, you know.
I predicted 11-6, and that's where they're falling.
So they are, if they lose against, let me make sure I have it all here. Make sure did I miss a pick here?
But let me make an important point to them. If they do not get 10 to 11, if they don't get minimum 10 wins, I will be on the Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel, see you later train. I will tell you this right now. I will be, if he can only win one of the next 4 football games, he does not deserve to return as this head coach. If he loses 5 of 6 with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and this so-called offense in December games, What does Stephen Ross have to lose? Stephen Ross is 80-something years old. You think he wants the same old Dolphins where they finish 9-8? He's not going to put up with that. He's telling me I paid Bradley Chubb $20-something million. I have to pay Christian Wilkins all this money. I paid Tyreek Hill $30 million. And you're telling me I got for not one extra win, not one playoff.
Let me just roll with this here. If Miami wins, they stay at the 5th seed with the way we predicted, guys. They stay at the 5th seed. They go against the Tennessee Titans in Nashville. 5th seed versus the 4th seed. We still have the Titans going to the playoffs despite what's just recently going down with them. And then, of course, if, heaven forbid, the Dolphins, that's 11-6 for Miami on the year. If Miami drops one game and they go 10-7, which was my original prediction on the year, they would be staying at the 5th seed, still going against Tennessee. So, not all is lost, guys.
I told you that. 10 wins will get them in the playoffs.
Not all is lost. If it goes out, I wish Justin was still here, but I understand his internet.
He's texting me like crazy, but I can't read the whole thing.
Oh, man.
Love you, Justin.
Justin, is he watching? Is that why?
I think no. He's just texting me. He wants to reiterate a bunch of things.
Oh, okay. It's a long night.
You want me to read it?
You give it a shot. But I will say, though, guys, look. It's going to be a scary matchup. We know they're starting to train up. Dolphins are struggling now. We figure it could be another loss in Miami's direction, 0-3, which is going to suck. We're going to touch on that next week, or as the week goes on. But I mean, the post game if that happens. But Green Bay and Miami, New England, and then the Jets. Anything can happen, right? The Jets are a decent team. Patriots, it's interdivision. Anything can happen. Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, anything can happen. But we could see that those could be winnable games. If Miami goes 11-6 on this run. 12-4, 12-5 would obviously be better, but 11-6, we're fine. 10-7, if it plays out this way, we're fine. We're still at the 5th seed, 6th seed, 7th seed, playoffs. What matters now, in my opinion, win in the playoffs. If we get destroyed by Buffalo, like Evan said, if we lose to Buffalo next week and it's a close game and Tua played his ass off and everything goes, and it's I'm not as worried about it. But if let's say it's 37-0 Buffalo. That's when that pretender label comes out. No. You gotta compete against the good teams. You gotta play well.
Honestly, if they get a crushing defeat and they don't show any heart and any sense of urgency in the Buffalo game, like shocking the world. But this is an opportunity for them to like shock the world by making this a close game because no one believed Tua could play in the snow or play in the rain.
That's his next test right there. It's cold.
Playing cold weather or whatever it is. All I can say is that might be the biggest gut punch for them, and they might just fall off a cliff. They have to show what they are made out of. They have to play football. Doesn't matter. You chose to play football. You didn't choose to play football in a dome. You chose to play football wherever you need to play it. You're always going to have to play with different elements, and you need to play smart football. Mike McDaniel knows what's gone on the last 2 weeks. Not continue to happen. He's back home now. Figure out what you need to do. If you have to go put them in the indoor dome and have snow blowing above your head as it's falling, I don't care. Rebuild the elements for them so they know what they're going to go through. I don't care. Leave on Thursday and go live in tents outside the stadium. I don't care. Get yourself ready for this football game. Play smart football. Don't play your game. Play a game that's going to give you the opportunity to win. Just because you think something worked against Cleveland doesn't mean it's going to work against Buffalo.
Yeah. Let me just say this again, guys, as we're here, we're past the hour, so we'll wrap this up. But I want to thank everybody who's tuning in. Thank you so much. Look, again, we have a 78% chance still to make the playoff, Dolphin fans, so it's not ready to give everything up yet. Okay, it's a growing curve. There are things we're concerned about. We did talk about Tua. We did talk about the football team, the coaching staff. There's things that Miami needs to work on. But it's not the end of the world yet. Miami goes 11-6, we're still good. Obviously, we want to go 12-5. 11-6, we're still good. 10-7, we're still good. We're still in based off what we predicted here.
We don't want to back into the playoffs. That's all.
Let's just, no. You're absolutely right. We don't want to fall into the playoffs. It's I was saying at the beginning it was a legitimate 8-4. It's a teetering 8-5 right now. Mike, thank you for tuning in, man. I appreciate you. And we're going to talk about Buffalo. There'll be plenty of Buffalo talk. Smash that like and subscribe. Remember, past 500 subscribers, guys. We got 20 left. Once we get past 500, we're going to do the jersey giveaway. Justin had to drop off. He had internet connections. JPF Scout You can catch him again tomorrow with Dolphins Thirsty Rob on the Dolphins Thirsty YouTube page at 10 a.m. on the Dolphins Daily. Then tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern Time starts our Dolphins content as we continue this week. Rob will be back with Steve Malloy on the FinSouth Sports Network channel, with the Real Talk Fins Talk. Then at 8 o'clock, a happier, I hope, Evan Posner with Fish Tank Hank, who he's going to have a chance to react to the game for the Fins bandwagon. So please smash that like and subscribe button, and then come back to us tomorrow for more Dolphins content. You know, we try to stay realistic and happy, but we also got the bandwagons, so we could have a blast.
But tomorrow's a realistic bandwagon. I will never jump off the bandwagon. You know what it is? The bandwagon. Bandwagon's not just about being positive. It's about being a true Dolphins fan. And for me, I'm a fan of the Miami Dolphins, not of it only an individual player. And this team always has the opportunity for success. It's just there's something about this team. They just can't get out of their own way. They just need something to happen. Like what they basically need this upcoming game Sunday is the motivation. If they win this game, if they somehow pull this game off in the snow, because I don't remember the only memory I have of them doing something good in the snow was Leon Lett. Okay, goddamn Leon Lett. Okay, the Miami Dolphins in the snow with Leon Lett. That was phenomenal back when I was younger. But besides that, I have no good memory of the snow. I live in frozen Montreal. I live in cold weather. I want Tua to shine. I want the Dolphins to shine in cold weather. Come up north and show people that you're not just a warm weather team. Show that you can play football no matter what the elements are. That's all. Like I just want to see that once. Show me that you can win in the elements.
Perfect. And that's great. Let's go ahead and roll with this. Let me make sure I pop that. All right, guys. That's Evan Posner of the Fins bandwagon. I'm Bobby Fins Talk of everything.
Dolphins make you cry. Thank you, Darius Rucker.
That's right. Yes. If you want that tribute tonight, guys, play some Darius Rucker. Man, what's that? What's the name of the song? I know the song.
Make you cry.
Dolphins make me cry.
Don't make you cry.
I know. There's an actual word, but I know he says my name in there.
Only want to be with you. Only want to be with you.
Only want to be with you. There you go.
Here, read it out, guys. You want to be a pure Dolphins fan? Best time of the show, I'll tell you. Sometimes I'll wonder if it'll ever end. You get so mad at me when I go out with my friends. You guys are all our friends. Sometimes you're crazy and you wonder why. Why are we all babies? Because Dolphins make us cry.
And that's it. All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Smash that like and subscribe button. We will see you tomorrow night on Real Talk Fins Talk, followed by
Dolphins #1, Steve.
#1. I love Steve, man. He's awesome. And then, of course, the Fins bandwagon with Fish Tank Hank
Fins
and
up,
Evan Posner. Take it easy, guys. Good night.
Fins up.
Fins up.